Leo was just a 14-year-old boy when he first stepped into the Forbidden Forest. His colony ship had landed on planet Viridia 6, a green world full of strange animals, glowing trees, and deep secrets. Humans were new here. The alien planet was peaceful, or so people thought. Leo had always been curious. While the adults were busy building shelters and setting up machines, he liked to explore. His mother warned him many times, "Don't go near the old ruins. That place is not safe." But those words only made him more curious. One hot afternoon, he sneaked away from the camp and entered the forest. The air felt thick. The trees had leaves shaped like stars, and the ground glowed faintly beneath his boots. Birds with 4 wings flew above, screeching like alarms. After walking for a while, he saw a huge stone gate, half covered in vines. It led to what looked like an ancient ruin. The walls had carvings of tall alien figures with shining eyes and long tails. Some looked like they were crying. Leo stepped inside carefully. It was quiet, too quiet. Suddenly, a soft voice echoed through the air. "You shouldn't be here, human." Leo froze. "Who's there?" he asked, his voice shaking. A shadow moved behind a broken pillar. Then she stepped out, an alien girl with silver skin, glowing purple eyes, and hair that shimmered like water. She looked about his age, maybe older. Her arms had faint markings like tattoos, and she limped slightly as she walked. Leo took a step back. "Are you real?" The girl smiled, but it was a sad smile. "You're the first human to come this close and not try to hurt me." "I didn't come to hurt you," Leo said quickly. "I didn't even know anyone was here." She tilted her head. "That's why I didn't run." He looked around. "Why are you hiding here?" Her eyes flickered. "Because others want to take me. They want my blood, my powers. I am the last of something old. They think I'm a weapon." Leo didn't fully understand, but he felt something like she was telling the truth. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated. "Sahira, I'm Leo." They stood silently for a moment. Then Sahira touched her side. Blood was dripping slowly from a wound. "I've been alone a long time, but I can't leave yet. Not until the stars call me." Leo stepped forward. "I can help. I can get you medicine from the camp." "No," she said firmly. "If they find me, they'll tell others. Then I'll never be free." Leo frowned. "So what do you want me to do?" She looked at him deeply. Her voice was soft, almost a whisper. "Leave now. But come back when you're older, stronger. Maybe then I'll still be alive." Before he could answer, the ruins began to shake. Stones cracked, dust filled the air, and the walls groaned. Like something ancient was waking up, Sahira grabbed his wrist and pushed him toward the exit. "Go, Leo. You don't belong here yet." He didn't want to leave her, but the ground split behind him. He ran, heart pounding, lungs burning, until he was out of the ruins and deep into the glowing forest again. He turned back once, but Sahira was gone. Back at camp, Leo burst into the control room. "I found someone," he shouted. "There's a girl in the ruins. She's alive, she's different." The adults stared at him. One of the guards laughed. "Boy, there's nothing in those ruins but rocks and stories." His father placed a hand on his shoulder. "You must have imagined it, son. You're just tired." "No," Leo shouted. "She was real. She told me to come back when I'm older." But no one believed him. That night, Leo sat alone, staring up at the stars. He remembered Sahira's glowing eyes, her voice, and the way she touched his hand. He whispered to the sky, "I'll come back. I promise." Hook. The jungle ruins had collapsed, but the mark she left on the stone still glowed. It pulsed gently like a heartbeat, as if whispering, "Remember me." Leo stood silently in front of the rubble. His eyes scanned every stone, every crack, searching for a sign. The ruins were gone, swallowed by the earth, as if they never existed. But there, half covered in vines, was a handprint, small, glowing, faint blue, and shaped like hers. He touched it. A cold chill ran through his body. He wasn't imagining her. The next few weeks felt like a storm inside Leo's head. No one believed him. Not the colony scientists, not the security officers, not even his best friend. They said the ancient ruins had collapsed years ago. They said the forest was empty. They said no intelligent alien life had ever lived there. But Leo had seen her. HFY. With her glowing purple eyes, silver skin, and that soft, broken voice. He kept quiet after that. He stopped talking about her, but he never forgot. Every night, he looked up at the stars and whispered, "I'll grow stronger. I'll come back." I swear, years passed. Leo changed. He trained his body. He studied survival, languages, ancient alien tech, anything that could help him one day find her again. He even joined a deep space exploration group, just so he could return to Viridia 6 legally when he was older. He never told anyone the real reason. He wore a copy of Sahira's glowing handprint around his neck, burned into a small metal plate. A reminder. One night, while cleaning an old storage room at the academy, Leo found something strange. A locked black box marked, "Classified, Level 9. He shouldn't have opened it. But he did. Inside was a small device with a cracked screen and a single recorded image. It was blurry, damaged, but he knew that face. It was her. The caption read, "Subject 7X, unstable energy being. Do not engage. Status unknown." Leo's hands shook. That was the proof. He wasn't crazy. She was real. And someone knew. But why was it hidden? The day he turned 21, Leo broke every rule. He forged a solo mission request, rented an old scout ship, faked a purpose. And returned to Viridia 6. The jungle looked the same, but the air felt heavier now, colder, like it was waiting. He landed far from the human base and hiked through thick vines and glowing roots for hours, back toward the ruins. He found the place where they once stood. The rubble was still there, but the handprint was gone. Instead, someone or something had carved a message into a nearby stone. "You came back too late." Leo's heart dropped. Was she gone? He sat down on the broken steps, breathing hard. The forest was quiet, too quiet. Then, a soft breeze and a voice. Inside his mind, "You really returned?" He jumped up. "Sahira?" The wind picked up. The trees whispered. Then a glowing vine unraveled from a nearby branch and pointed deeper into the jungle. Leo didn't hesitate. He followed it. She had only appeared in his dreams for years. But now, standing in a silent jungle clearing, Leo realized this was no dream. She was real. And she was watching him from the shadows. Leo didn't blink. He couldn't. His eyes were locked on the alien girl, Sahira, standing across the clearing. But she wasn't the same. Her silver skin now glowed faintly under the moonlight, etched with swirling blue patterns that pulsed slowly like living lights. Her long hair floated slightly in the air, as if the wind obeyed her. Her eyes, still purple, still beautiful, but filled with something new. Fear. She stepped back. Leo raised both hands. "It's me, Leo. You told me to come back, and I did." Sahira stared at him, not speaking. He took a slow step forward. "You remember me, don't you?" Her voice came not from her mouth, but directly into his head. "You were just a child. But now you wear war in your eyes." Leo paused. "I came to help you." She lowered her eyes. "Then leave, before you're seen." Leo looked around. Seen by who? Before she could answer, the ground rumbled slightly beneath their feet. Sahira turned sharply and whispered, this time out loud, "They're close." She moved quickly, beckoning him toward a tree with strange red bark. Leo followed. She touched a hidden spot, and the tree opened like a door. They slipped inside just before a distant sound echoed through the forest, the sharp screech of metal against stone. Leo looked at her inside the hollow tree. What was that? Her face was calm, but her hands shook. Hunters. Not animals, not human. Something else. They're after you. She nodded. They've always been after me, but now they're getting closer. Inside the tree, roots glowed beneath their feet like soft lanterns. They led to a tunnel ancient and alive. As they walked deeper, Leo asked, Why me? Why did you tell me to return? Sahira walked in silence for a moment. Then she stopped and turned to face him. Because you didn't want to own me. Or fix me, or fear me. She stepped closer. You looked at me like a person, not a thing. Leo felt heat rise in his chest. You are a person. You're you. Sahira smiled weakly. Most would disagree. Even my own people left me behind, Leo frowned. But you have powers, your markings, your voice in my head. You're incredible. That's the problem, she whispered. They want to use it. Control it, breed it. Leo's fists clenched. She placed her hand over his. That's why I told you to return later. I needed someone brave, and someone who cared. Suddenly, the tunnel shook. Dust fell from the roof. The glowing roots dimmed. Sahira gasped. They found the path. She grabbed Leo's wrist. We must go to the old sanctuary. There's something I must show you. They ran through the winding tunnel until they reached a large underground chamber. It was quiet, but humming with power. In the center, a stone table covered in alien writing. Sahira touched the table, and it lit up. An image appeared in the air, a vision of her people, once proud, now lost. A young girl, Sahira, being hidden inside the ruins, and a dark shadow approaching from the stars. Leo stared at the floating image. They destroyed your kind? Sahira nodded. Almost. I'm the last, and I hold the last spark. And now they want to finish it. Yes. Leo looked her in the eyes. Then we fight back. You're not alone anymore. Her lip trembled. She reached out and touched his chest. You finally came back. And you're not a boy anymore. Asterisk, the red lights sliced through the cracks in the tunnel walls. The hunters were almost here, but they didn't know one thing. They weren't just hunting a girl anymore. They were hunting the key to an ancient power, and the one human she had chosen to protect it. Leo grabbed Sahira's hand as the tunnel walls pulsed with danger. Her skin felt colder now, but her grip was strong. She pulled him close and whispered, No matter what happens, don't let them put chains on me. Before Leo could answer, a deep robotic voice echoed through the stone. Target detected. Prepare for capture. Sahira turned and slammed her palm onto the glowing table in the center of the chamber. The alien markings began to spin, faster and faster until the stone cracked open. From the inside rose a glowing crystal sphere hovering. In mid-air. Leo stepped back in awe. What is that? Sahira didn't look at him. Her voice was low and tight. My people's last memory, last power, last soul. Suddenly, her legs buckled. She fell to her knees. Leo caught her. What's happening? The sphere feeds on me, she gasped. It only answers to my bloodline. But I'm weak now. I don't have much time. Leo clenched his jaw. Then tell me what to do. Sahira looked up at him, eyes glowing brighter than ever. She placed her hand on his heart and said softly, You were never meant to just save. You're meant to carry what I can't. Before he could ask what she meant, the tunnel exploded behind them. Hunters poured in tall, armor-plated aliens with glowing visors and long spears charged with energy. One pointed at Sahira and barked, Subject alive. Do not damage her. The buyer wants her whole. Leo stood in front of her, fists up, no weapon in hand. A hunter laughed. Human, move aside. This is not your fight. Leo stared at them, then at Sahira. He whispered, Wrong. Then he charged. The fight was brutal. Leo moved fast, using every trick he'd learned in the past 7 years, rolling under blades, dodging electric darts, and striking pressure points. But there were too many. A spear struck his side, he cried. Output kept standing. Sahira screamed his name, but her voice echoed like thunder. Suddenly, the glowing sphere behind her rose higher into the air, and then shattered. The light exploded outward, covering Sahira and Leo in a blinding blue glow. Everything stopped. Even the hunters froze in place. Leo fell to his knees, gasping as energy rushed through his body. Hot, ancient, alive, Sahira floated off the ground, her markings glowing like fire. When she landed, she opened her eyes. They were no longer just purple. They had stars inside them. She looked at Leo and whispered, "Now you hold the key too." The hunters recovered and raised their weapons, but Sahira raised her hand and the tunnel shook violently. Vines burst from the walls, wrapping around the hunters, lifting them off the ground like rag dolls. They screamed. Then, silence. Leo stared at her in shock. Sahira dropped to the floor, weak again. He caught her. "You could have done that before?" She gave a tired smile. "Not without the sphere. Not without you." They limped out of the temple chamber together. Leo looked up at the alien sky and said, "Why are they doing this to you?" Sahira rested her head against his shoulder. "Because I'm not just a girl to them. I'm a tool, a weapon, a womb for their future." Leo felt something heavy grow in his chest. He looked at her, really looked at her, and said, "To me, you're just Sahira. And that's enough." Asterisk. The sky split open like a wound. A massive black ship broke through the clouds, its engines silent, its shadow stretching over the trees like death itself. And Sahira whispered, not to Leo, but to herself, "That's the one who buys souls." Leo grabbed Sahira's hand. "Run!" But she didn't move. She stared at the sky with wide eyes. "That's not just a collector. That's his ship." "Whose?" She shook her head slowly. "The one who bought my entire bloodline." The jungle around them changed. Birds flew off in frightened swarms. The glowing leaves dimmed. Even the trees alive and breathing seemed to bend away from the black ship as it landed in a burst of wind and ash. A ramp extended. And from the shadows walked a creature wrapped in silk and bone armor, taller than any human, with a mask shaped like a skull and glowing red eyes behind it. He did not speak. He only raised a finger and pointed at Sahira. Leo stepped in front of her again. "No," he growled. "You're not taking her." The creature tilted its head. A cold mechanical voice echoed across the jungle. "She is not yours to protect." Sahira's breathing turned shaky. "Leo, if he takes me, I'll be nothing. Not even myself." Leo turned to her. "Then we fight." But they were outnumbered. Dozens of foot soldiers, dressed in black armor, jumped out from the ship and surrounded them. They carried nets, shock poles, and dart guns. One of them shouted, "Target 17A is active. Capture gently. Kill the human. If he resists." Leo pulled a small knife from his belt. Sahira looked at it, then at him. "That won't be enough." "I know," he said, "but maybe I don't need a weapon. Maybe I am one now." He stepped forward, holding the knife in one hand and the glowing memory medallion in the other. Then the jungle moved. The roots around the soldiers suddenly writhed like snakes. The vines reached down from the trees and wrapped around legs and arms. The soldiers screamed. Sahira gasped. You're controlling it." Leo didn't understand how, but he felt it. The forest obeyed him now, just a little. The energy from the broken sphere. It had changed something inside him. Turned to her. "Can you still speak to the beast?" She nodded slowly. "If it remembers me." They ran through the chaos, dodging stun blasts and flying nets, until they reached a clearing where the old jungle beast once lived. It had been her protector once, but now it was different, taller, stronger, scarred, Wild. It saw them, and roared. Sahira stepped forward, heart racing. She sang 3 soft alien notes, her voice trembling. The beast snarled, stepping closer. One more note, soft and sad. It paused. And bowed. Leo grinned. That's our ride. They climbed onto the beast's back, and it charged through the jungle with speed no machine could match. Behind them, energy blasts shook the trees. Sahira leaned forward, gripping Leo's arm. Why are you doing this for me? He looked at her. Because you asked me to come back. And because now, you're not just someone I want to save. You're someone I won't lose. As they escaped into the dense jungle night, the masked collector stood silently on the landing ramp. He watched them disappear into the trees. Then, he whispered in his cold voice, if I can't own her, I will destroy her. The cave was silent. No jungle sounds, no light, no air moving. Only the sound of her breathing, slow, weak, and fading. Leo held her in his arms, his heart racing. He had come back for her, but what if he was too late? Sahira's skin was dim now. The glow in her markings had faded. Her hands trembled in Leo's grip. Her breaths were shallow, like they hurt. Stay with me, Leo whispered. You said to return when I was older. I did. I'm here. She gave a tired smile. You came back too late, or maybe just in time. Leo shook his head. What's happening to you? Sahira leaned her head against his chest. The bond we share, it was only meant to last for a while. It gives me strength, but takes something too, he frowned. What does it take? She closed her eyes. Me. The glowing energy from the shattered sphere had connected them. Leo could feel it now, a thread between their hearts, pulsing like a slow drumbeat. You're connected to me, she said. You carry the echo of my people, but it's eating away at what little I have left. Leo felt helpless. He'd trained for years. He'd learned how to survive, how to fight, how to protect, but none of it mattered if she died in his arms. There has to be a way to stop this, he said. There is, she whispered. But it's not safe. I don't care. Sahira sat up slowly and pointed to the back of the cave, where an ancient door stood carved with glowing marks, covered in vines. That is the Temple of Transfer. My people built it long ago. It's hidden from time. It holds the original spark. Leo narrowed his eyes. What kind of spark? The kind that can save me completely, she said. But only if shared. He stepped toward the door. What do I have to do? She shook her head weakly. It's not about strength. You must open it with your will. It reads your truth. If you enter with selfish thoughts, it kills you. Leo looked at her, eyes full of emotion. Then I'll survive. Because this isn't about me. He pressed his palm against the ancient stone. It lit up. Slowly, then brighter, the vines pulled back. The door opened, revealing a glowing chamber with floating stones, golden mist, and a tall mirror at the center. Leo stepped in. The air was thick with energy. The mirror showed him himself, but different. In it, he was a boy again, small, scared, running from the ruins. But behind him, Sahira stood, smiling. Fading. The mirror asked no questions. It simply demanded truth. Leo stepped forward and whispered, I'm not here to be a hero. I'm here because I couldn't forget her. The room exploded with light. Back in the cave, Sahira's body lifted off the ground. Her markings began to glow again, stronger than before. Leo stumbled out of the temple chamber, light pouring from his chest. She fell into his arms again, breathing steady now. You did it, she whispered. No, he said, holding her tighter. We did. The bond was now complete. Their energy flowed together, balanced. She looked at him differently now. Her fear was gone, replaced by something warmer, something deeper. You didn't just return, she said. You became my future. It didn't roar. It didn't speak. It simply stepped into the jungle like it belonged there, a perfect copy of Sahira, but colder, empty, built to replace her. And it was heading straight for them. The jungle grew quiet. Even the wind held its breath. Leo looked up from the cave entrance and saw the shape moving between the tree's silver skin. Glowing purple eyes. Long dark hair. At first, he thought it was Sahira, until he saw the smile. It wasn't kind. It was hollow. Behind it followed strange creatures, silent, pale, with metal claws and no faces. They didn't walk. They floated. Sahir stepped beside Leo, eyes wide. No. They didn't just want to capture me, she whispered. They wanted to replace me. Leo looked at her. Can you fight? She nodded. I can, but only if we do it together. The bond between them glowed soft and bright. Their energy was one now. She could feel his heartbeat. He could feel her fear and her strength. The false Sahira stopped a few steps away. Her voice was smooth but lifeless. Step aside, human. You have completed your role. Now give her to us. Leo stepped forward. She's not yours to take. She never was. The clone tilted its head. You are unnecessary. Then it attacked. The fight was fast, brutal, and full of light. The false Sahira moved like a ghost, quick, perfect, deadly. But Leo and the real Sahira fought like they understood each other, every step in sync, every move flowing like a dance. When Leo fell back, she caught him. When she stumbled, he covered her. They were not two people anymore. They were a bond. Sahira raised her hand and pulled power from the jungle. Its self-roots shot up, striking the faceless followers, crushing them with vines and light. Leo pulled a hidden blade and slashed through the last of the machines. Then came the clone, cold, silent, angry. She charged at Sahira with lightning in her hands, but Leo stepped between them. The lightning hit him, and something impossible happened. It vanished. The clone's eyes widened. Leo's body was glowing, his veins lit like stars. You were made from stolen blood, he said calmly. But I was chosen by her. He reached forward and touched the clone's chest. The bond rejected her. She screamed, not in pain, but in confusion. And then she faded like dust in the wind. It was over. The jungle lit up once more. The forest sang. Sahira fell to her knees, tears running down her cheeks, not from fear, but from relief. Leo knelt beside her. I came back, he whispered, and I'm not leaving. That night, under the glowing trees, Sahira looked at the stars. Do you remember what I said when we first met? She asked. Leo nodded. You told me to come back when I was older. She leaned her head on his shoulder. You did. And you saved more than just me. You saved who I could become. Final scene. The collector ship left the sky defeated. The jungle began to grow freely again. And deep within the forest, the ancient ruins lit up once more, not with sorrow, but with new life. Hand in hand, a human and an alien girl walked forward, not as lost children, but as something new. Something stronger, together.